familiar with it. And at the same time, the ban game for it as well. It's generally been pretty straightforward. I'm expecting to see Lion and Clash obviously removed.
And there goes the Lion. I mean, that's definitely not surprising coming out from Ninjas. They have consistently banned Lion. The other attacker ban tends to be kind of interesting. Would expect a Blitz coming out here from FaZe just because of how good Julio is on that. But that was a very unexpected ban. In fact, it's so unexpected that in the actual operator ban statistics that we have, I don't think we have.
We've never had an
Ash ban.
No, that is the first Ash ban. And obviously, if we looked at the kind of statistics, obviously, yeah, Cameraman is most played op has been Ash. That was the expected Clash ban. But Psycho has been exceptional running that Ash. Psycho has been really powerful, especially on Oregon. So I'm going to completely go and say that was a complete target ban against what Psycho has been able to achieve.
And while I think people would say the smoke ban is a little bit out there, we have seen Nip already ban the smoke. It makes sense for Nip to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes through. But the last time that they did this, it kind of went completely against them because FaZe just ran the Finker and they completely destroyed them with it. I mean, Yuna is a very, very good Finker.
So we'll have to see, obviously, if they've learned a potential lesson. But this does free up Mira, and we often talk about when Mira is freed on certain maps. And this is definitely one where she can get a fair bit more powerful and a fair bit more control. But to be fair, we've seen her let through on Oregon probably the majority. I know that's a big statement.
Yeah, no, she has got through quite a lot. It's kind of surprising that Mira, Echo, and Maestro have made it through the ban so many times here. We're going to see the Legion 6-bit coming out from Kamikaze in the end. There we go. Mav is going to bring the Finker instead of the Capitao, surprisingly. But Kamikaze is actually going to swap back to the Maestro, having anticipated the Finker. So a little bit of mind games coming out there. We'll see how it goes then.
The old-fashioned 6th to 6th, but we've got Thermite, Sophia, Jekyll, Thatcher, and Finker opening up against Valk, Maestro, Jaeger, Mira, and Echo. A lot of plant denial there.
There is a lot of plant denial. And I will mention also at the same time that we've seen Julie on the mirror.
Yes.
We've seen what he's capable of.
Oh, yes.
I may sound like a little bit of a fanboy, but we saw his 1v3 clutch. He completely destroyed Team.
He's definitely had some highlight moments throughout this tournament. Obviously, Julio is one of those players where you've said very, very talented player. One of the best in the world, for sure. And Mira is an operator that Julio can really run and run it and run it and run it and keep finding those situations, those clutches. Just really kind of can bring a team up.
Now, this is always a very interesting move to do. I'm expecting them to destroy the white wardrobe here to Julio's left with an impact nade. Although, actually, they don't actually have any impact nades. So, interested to how they deal with that. But the main reason why that white stairs mirror is interesting is because if you reinforce the mirror, yes, it gives you more control. Yes, it allows you to peek from it. But then someone could just rappel in right next to the mirror and plant, and there is nothing you can do about it because you don't have smoke.
Yep, that's the way it goes. And right, we have seen now, obviously the first attack is going. Some bullets fired by Astro straight into the kids at Thomas' window. Somehow didn't actually catch the unlucky rotator at that point, but FaZe are wasting no time at all as they start getting some aerial control, firing down through windows. They're worried about Big Tower because they didn't do a proper clear on it.
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place with this at the moment, but FaZe's strategy for a lot of these rounds, especially on a map like Oregon, have just been to find as many early gunfights as they can. Kamikaze is already going to get a good fight as his zone is going to get lit up quite a little bit as he rotates through into the kids' dorms area. And then FaZe take quick control of the west main.
Now you can see, obviously, Jackal just been used exceptionally effectively to pick up and pick off Romus. And, to be fair, on a map like this, the anchors as well. The amount of vertical control and kills we're seeing, PZD is definitely instantly going to be in the firing line. Wag has rotated the Echo drone, but gets it almost instantly thrown away. I guess it got seen, and you just thought at that point it's gone anyway. But that does leave PZD in a little bit of a tight spot. He's just going to rotate the Valkyrie through meeting, and Unit is just still waiting for this peek, and the quick peek was attempted, but it did not follow through. With a minute and a half left, FaZe is starting to close down from all angles.
Really nice angle coming out from Yuna there, as Asher going to be opening up the white stairs. That, of course, will actually allow him to pop open that white stairs mirror that I was talking about earlier on. Kamikaze going to be holding down vertical angles. Psycho going to be playing on laundry stairs downstairs. ready for that flank on the Jaeger. We'll see how that goes through for him, but Nip haven't actually lost anyone yet, but neither have FaZe. There's still lots of utility on the board from both teams. It's all going to be about how this execute goes down, but there's not a lot going on right now. But Astro gets all the way onto the top. But White says, how does he not score that kill against Julio? He's going to get away with this fraction of his HP, but still alive for the count. Yuna getting ready to pop some smokes and make his way in here. Julio's rotated all the way back to Armory. There's hardly anyone from Ninjas in Pyjamas on the site. Not looking too good for them. The pre-fires are going to come down. The think above does go out. Smoke nades go out. Kamikaze scores the first kill of the round. There goes Astro. Already the entry fragger down, but Yuna going to score one. Back his return. White goes down. 4v4 situation. Kamikaze getting ready with the LMG. Sprays him down, but he can't find a kill. Map takes down Psycho. It's not looking good at all. Cameraman makes his way into Kids Doms. He takes down one. There goes Kamikaze. He's all a 4v2. The diffuser goes down. It's all down to Julio and PCD. There's still lots of utility on the board for both sides here, but that diffuser's starting to tick away, starting to do its job. Julio still trying to find those kills, but on a fraction of HP and a little bit of a dream for himself. Nitro is going to go up, but unfortunately not going to hit its mark. PCD going to have to rotate through onto White Stairs potentially. As Julio desperately trying to find some kills here, but not able to find anything going out just yet. And what a beautiful Claymore from Ashto is going to find PCD. Moringa shuts down Julio. And that's FaZe Clan who take round number 1.
Well, that seemed like they instantly knew how they wanted to take the control there, how they wanted to get the map control there without even really needing to go inside the building. They almost shepherded Nip off the point, pushed in, and then, as you said, brilliant use of utility. A killer piece, the perfect team opening.
So much roaming coming out from Nip there.
Yeah, obviously we saw at one point there was 3 of them off point, and yet obviously that can work, but they were off point in a position where FaZe were able to just kind of roll in. Obviously they're one of those teams that you see a lot of teams stumble when they're at the gate and they're trying to get that entry frag before they start pushing, but FaZe is one of those teams that can kind of do it whilst pushing. They're very assured in their fragability and the information they've got and what they're passing towards each other. And you could see it as soon as they started entering the window there, they were getting frags as they moved.
Yuna got a 6-pick onto the IQ, but yeah, it does kind of go back to that point that I made about how FaZe desperately want to find these gunfights. And you kind of do when you get the Finker buff going out. You need to find those gunfights. You need to find those frags. You need to make use out of your utility. And FaZe did that beautifully that round. But Nip, with some late rotates, trying to make some work going through for those flanks, just nothing happened from it. Nothing came of it. Something that's kind of unusual in Oregon, but they are going to attempt this upstairs defense yet again. Let's see how it goes through with them with the exact same lineup nonetheless. I think this lineup is pretty good as well because there's a lot of plant down, as you mentioned, the last round. There's 2 Nitros on the board. There's the Echo drone. There is the Maestro cams as well. Lots of intel from Black Eyes as well. But they just didn't really seem to do much with it. And the entry fragging ability of FaZe combined with the fact that they were affecting utility on the site as they moved onto it was beautifully done for them. And especially the fact of how quickly Astro got onto those White Stairs with basically no contention from Nip.
Yeah, something about Zephyr that we've seen occasionally played by some of these guys in LATAM is the speed at which they'll get Zephyr to the point. They use it as both the tip of the spear as well as an entry fragger, and again, causing some damage there to PCD, but causing damage towards the point and just getting in a position where you can start questioning a defense so quickly has almost become a staple of some of these guys' attacks.
It definitely has been, but we'll see how this particular attack goes through, as FaZe just seems to be all over the shop right now, just trying to make their entry in. And Cameraman almost scoring an early kill of his own. And that is just the importance of how FaZe are quickly moving up to these sites and not letting the utility go down so early on without it being contested. And Yuna on the IQ, something that has been desperately missing from so many of these teams recently.
Oh yeah, well, IQ is one of those operators where you kind of comment, like, if a strategy is going wrong for particular reasons, it's always obviously harder to pick up on some of those reasons whilst your head's in the game. You're kind of blinkered, regardless of whether you're the best players in the world. That's what coaches do. That's what analysts do. They just kind of feed you that stuff. And IQ is often one where you think, well, why is this not working? And sometimes it's because of stuff you can't even see. It's Valk cams hidden in ways that's feeding information. It's communication. And IQ just counters that. She shuts it down. And you can see it being used here, feeding the information about where Valk cams are, feeding about where all of this is to the rest of the team, and going, this is why, you know, this is where problems are. This is where problematic things are. And again, it takes a really good team to realize that that is something that you need to bring just in case, especially when you won the first round.
Yeah, that definitely is what you want to go through. And Asho going to be doing pretty much the same thing he was doing in the last round as well. opening up the vertical play, and PZG just getting forced all the way out of there. Beautiful bit of map control coming out from FaZe, but Mav is not going to let him full rotate out of there. PZG going to get into meeting hole, but is going to get tested here just a little bit. Kamikaze still trying to hold on this vertical play onto the bottom white stairs, but Astro just runs all the way up. They can't even find him.
Mav is trying to close down against Valk. Kamikaze finds Astro, though. They did find him in the end. You can see they're trying to close down on a Valk that has since disappeared as Yuna and Moringa start closing down on big windows on top of dining hall. PZD now hanging around in attic, pretty injured, and obviously not wanting to pick too many firefights. But again, the issue with their roamers last time was they just did not close down again. And Mav, you can see here, is completely distracted by where that Valk has gone. Valk does not really have to do too much at this point because he's already done a fair amount. It looks like Mav might even find the fight, but Valk rotates just out of attic and through the hole in time. Yuna and Moringa somehow missing that on the long angle.
Yeah, it's going to be the adrenal surge that does go out. However, as Mav starts to move up, the rest of his team going through, but Moringa goes down, but Yuna is able to take down Kamikaze. PZD and Julio find kills of their own. It's going to be all down to Yuna and Cameraman, but Yuna goes down to Julio with a double kill. Cameraman just managed to find PZD. He's got to find 3 more, 2 seconds, but no, he just ran out of time. But Wag actually, from the walk-in closet, does shut him down. Nip, take round number 2.
Wow, that was a much better defense there from Nip. They seemed to not lose control as quickly. They didn't kind of give it over to FaZe. Obviously, we were talking about there of how FaZe in the first round were kind of getting control and pushing Nip away from point without really having to get in too many firefights. They were looking for them, sure, and then Nip just kind of held their ground there. They were ready, they anticipated some of those firefights, and they were able to actually fire back.
They were able to fire back indeed. Let's see how it goes down. Also see Ninja's Pyjamas going to go downstairs this time in round number 3 for a basement defense, but looking to take a fairly similar lineup to what they were before. I do honestly like the Legion pick here. Most people consider Legion to be a counter to Shield play, but he is actually also a counter to Finker, which has been brought every single round so far by FaZe, and we've seen them play Oregon without smoke before, and they have run Finker quite a lot during their attacks.
Legion as well, he has an exceptionally high pick rate, generally across the board, but in LATAM as well, he really has found a kind of proper corner because they use them as an early warning system. They use them, as you said, to counter shields, which have fairly been a big part of the play, but also against Finker as well, who shows up. So it's just a very, very smart choice. And this is one of those things we talk about is the response to operators and picking the different operators to balance and change around fate. Again, these guys are good enough to kind of see it, even when they're winning rounds. They'll look at, well, what can we do here? What can we bring here? And what can we change to make this more effective? And Legion against Finker, as you said, it's a good idea.
I don't know about, like, I get your point about they're able to make up strats on the fly and they're able to counter and look into what they can do differently, but I think this is a preordained strategy. Think about it. They ban the smoke, knowing full well if they ban a smoke, FaZe are going to take Finker.
5 seconds remaining.
So they're saying with this laundry defense, with that in mind, and they're taking the Legion, and they're taking the Pulse rather than an Echo. So I think this is going to be a fairly aggressive forward, and the Legion is going to be there to support that.
Well, we have also seen, obviously, this is the first time we've seen Glaz on the board as well. We've seen some pretty quick and aggressive pushes, and here comes another one. Kamikaze and Nip get instant Psycho with the double, in fact. And that was exactly what they expected. Astro's down as well. It was the speedy FaZe push that they have done before, that I was just about to say they've done before, but no one needed to warn Nip.
Well, it's all going to be down to Moringa. Does manage to find Kamikaze, and Astro will manage to withstand and make his way onto the site. Desperately trying to find these gunfights, but will lose it. Wag takes him down. It's going to be all down to Moringa. He does have the diffuser though, and does have 2 extra thermal charges and 2 stun grenades. So he should be able to do something here, but it's really not looking good for the Fragmite of Moringa to try and move in here. He's going to try and push it in. Wow, what a shot onto Psycho. Beautiful headshot. Moringa trying to bring it in, but no, PZD is going to be easily able to refrag him. Ninja's Pyjamas take round number 3. Very nice strategy coming out from them, but FaZe Clan just rushing blue kind of blind. I think it wasn't blind, right? They had drone set up. They knew the electric hatch wasn't open, and they reckoned we can catch them off guard here. We can open this up, and we can just push all the way in very, very quickly, and we can complete taking them to surprise. Although, if you can do that, I don't know. I think it was more of a response to what the setup was rather than their intended strategy from the get-go.
Either way, it didn't work.
The thing is, what I mean is that if it had been preordained before the round had started, they would have taken a Ying.
Yeah, they would have had a bit more, because we've seen, obviously, Astro play Ying. We've seen some very, very solid kind of tipped pushes when these guys have gone, especially, as we said, we've seen them do that Rust strategy before. But unfortunately, it just did not seem to pull off this time. However, they're much more spread out this time. They were definitely not doing the same thing against rear stage and watchtower, which has always been the point of contention on this map. It's always one where it can often go either way.
Something that we didn't mention before the game started, which I would like to mention quickly now, that on Strafe, we can vote for the winner of the match. The Strafe app, of course, very, very good for tracking multiple different tournaments, including ours. So good for that indeed. But on there, the vote was actually 87% into the favor of FaZe.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they have kind of won every single game. They beat NiP 2-0. There was some very hotly contested rounds and stuff in that game of NiP. NiP played exceptionally well, and obviously they then went down to the lower bracket and 2-0'd their way instantly back up to the top again. But at the same time, FaZe has had an exceptional season. And that always, a lot of people don't take into consideration whether they'll be running strats or not, whether they'll be doing whatever or not, and I definitely think this game is going to be much closer than that vote lets on.
Let's hope so. Let's hope it is indeed closer as we're going to move through into round number 4. But of course, that objective rotation parameter being 2 means that NiP are going to be going to the big tower. And I often say that a big tower defense with a mirror becomes a lot more viable. That is a very nice mirror by Julio.
Yeah, that is one of those tricky mirrors. It takes a lot of players a while to find that exact pixel to put that down.
Yeah, just kind of one of those strategies invented, pretty sure by G2, although someone may have done it before them. But yeah, very nicely played indeed. And that is commonly a mirror that you want, just because it gives you so much vision from meeting hall hold into the big tower. And then you normally have one back up in the attic, or facing into attic from big tower.
Yeah. All right, we can see Blackbeard. Astro, however, opening the frags, taking care of Echo. And that is a big operator to lose that early on, just from someone shooting through the window. Poor Echo's off the board, and now it's become a slightly harder hold. They're starting to close down from small tower as well. They're worried about, obviously, someone getting a cross peek. You can see Yuna is droning it out alongside the Thatcher. They're going to come across PZD in meeting, but Psycho has actually rotated all the way to the top, and we've often seen ACOG wielders take that top spot just to kind of hold it for as long as they can. Kamikaze's trying to open themselves up to something across attic as well, fire some pre-warnings as they start to close across meaning.
They do start to close across it, and FaZe do manage to take control of the main lobby and just try to open it up. Meeting control is pretty key to this entire attack here, and it's going to be looking pretty good for FaZe so far. They managed to take a lot of the meeting control over. They're going to be opening up to the pantry, while NiP slowly pulling back and giving up a lot of this utility.
Yeah, well, there's something we've said about how kind of steadfastly you can hold this one in the rotations and the options, and oftentimes we'll see the desperations of jumping out of windows, trying to get those frags on this point. It's very tricky to hold, and FaZe are doing a clinical shutdown of the rest of the map now to allow themselves still 50 seconds to start pushing against it. Mav, the Blackbeard, finding Kamikaze. And again, they're pushing against Attic. They're pushing against the other side. Mav, the Blackbeard, runs from a C4 and just gets out of the way. Julio taking about half health damage, but is going to give them a little bit of food for thought now and just buys a little bit more time for those playing on point. About to come across the Astro. Zofia downstairs, though. Another C4 goes out. The plant is going down, and the C4 misses.
C4 will miss, and the diffuser will go down successfully. Impact Nade is going to come out, but no retake strategy coming through just yet. Flashbangs go out onto the stairs, and Psycho unable to find a break here. Julio still downstairs as Psycho going to try and rotate out, but unable to find a kill. But Mav and Astro will find kills of their own. Leave it all to Psycho here. Goes for the quick beat. Does actually manage to win the fight against Yuna. Now he's going to have to find 4 more, and Sable the diffuser won't be able to find 1. Cameraman shuts him down from Attic. FaZe can't take round number 4.
Yeah, FaZe, as I said, they were very surgical with that approach. They knew exactly where they wanted to get control, exactly how they wanted to get control, and they were winning frags as they were doing it as well. That was a very hard attack to withstand from NiP.
I think, again, just a lot of prep work coming out from FaZe there. They know how NiP tend to hold on to that meeting hall area. We've seen them hold on to it like that before. So just trying to, let's just get control of meeting hall. Let's just not even bother trying to contest Attic because there's not really any necessary reason to do so. All we have to do is just open up a little bit and make sure there's no one in the attic itself, and that no one can rotate in there, and then we just shut it all down from the meeting hall. Really well play from them to do that. Nip failing a little bit on the rotates again.
Yeah, Nip was kind of struggling. As I said, it's a very hard point to kind of get those rotations on because it is the side of the map. It's the far side of the map. And especially, as you can see, FaZe were doing a multi-story clearance there. They were all over. They were very quick underneath to try to shut down that Valkyrie as well and just push her back towards the point. They generally had every out locked off. However, Dorms we returned to, and Dorms was a point where they've both won one and lost one.
Yeah, they did do indeed. We'll see how it goes down this time. We're not actually going to see the Finker from Mav this time. It's going to be the Buck coming out from him, which honestly I say is a fair shout, just because having a lot of soft destruction on this site is very, very viable, and just switching up the strategy a little bit, maybe going to hit Nip with something they haven't quite expected from this. We'll see how it goes down.
As well as the castle being took out as well, the first time.
Yeah, so that does suggest a little bit more of an aggressive hold coming out here. Wonder where PC going to castles down. I'm going to guess to the window to his left.
We've got one on big window at least. I think we've got one.
Yeah, we've got one. I think we've got kids dorms. We've got one big window. We've got one high one. So
yeah, you see it. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, obviously losing the Echo very early last time wasn't great. We'll see if WAG can hold on to their life just a little bit longer. Kamikaze still drilling open rotations on point, and you can see Mav with the Buck for the first time as well, starting to again close down, try to get that vertical, try to get underneath and cause some issues. And to be fair, on a much more kind of centralized and locked off castle-based defense, we're going to find a bit more kudos. PCD himself actually is going to be playing down in kitchen. Still has the same rotation hole open, can pull back if need be, find themselves a slightly nicer spot. Kamikaze above is just going to open a little bit of vertical control themselves, see if they can get some eye lines down, back up if need be. Again, Julio, who we've seen play the mirror vertical on this brilliantly before, but here come the spots. Jackal is feeding the information to the rest of the team, and Buck is desperate to get into that kitchen underneath.
Yeah, desperate to get in there. Indeed, rotates are going to start coming through. Mav starts to move up. Cameraman still holding down the angle to see what he can do, just pushing in here. Nades are going to go out, but not going to find a kill just yet, but barbed wire is going to get destroyed. Also, utility usage coming out here from FaZe to try and get control of the kitchen, which is fair enough from them.
You can see, obviously, the drone game. Kamikaze might pick off an unsuspecting Buck here, who's still waiting for the flat-level firefight. That might have given a little bit of the game away. The second grenade cooks out. They are really trying to drop that castle, and that is both frag grenades taken by PZD to very well effect. No damage taken there at all, and not even having to waste a Jaeger to remove those off the board. And Mav is just going to find another way round. Worried about the push from White Stairs there, but no fears yet. Kamikaze again waiting and baiting and wishing someone to enter through that kitchen door just to get a very nice pick there. And Mav is actually going for a pretty big rotate. Unit as well. They're pushing on main window instead now.
Yeah, I think Mav is also worried about the potential of the vertical play there, and as you said, that Maestro may have given the game away, but Eos just going to wide peek onto the main window, takes the unit off the board immediately. That is all the smokes off the board from FaZe. That is horrible to deal with.
It's a lot of utility off the board as well, especially as the two frag grenades have gone to absolutely no avail there. But connector orb does get opened by Moringa, who does have the diffuser, and Astro is not far away. Jaeger takes the fight and wins it. Psycho dropping Moringa there, and it's suddenly a 3 versus 5. Astro went to look for the refrag, but the Echo drone causing a fair bit of issues for Astro there. It's not going to take it fully. Cameraman is rotated in the meantime up White Stairs again, looking for another firefight as well. Psycho is on an exceptionally low amount of health, but there is only 15 seconds to get the plant down, and Astro is gliding around the floor.
Well, yeah, Astro is going to get the entry frag, but does manage to get traded right on back. Kamikaze puts down to the Kids Dorm's windows, takes Mav off the board, and Nip take round number 5. Did a very nice retake, and I think that as soon as that Jackal died, any hope that FaZe had of winning that round was completely denied.
Yeah, obviously it's such a big take, and you kind of got to give credit to just the Maestro and the castle for locking off kitchen for that long. Obviously, we said in the round where it kind of went wrong, they gave away a lot of ground, they lost a lot of ground, and there they just stood in, they buried, obviously pulled away when the frag grenades went, which is the smart thing to do, but then pushed back in. Didn't let Buck or Jackal get any sense of control there, and managed to hold it above as well and force them off to a place where they were much more uncomfortable to get the push, and then obviously wide peak to frag.
Wide peak to frag, I mean, that's all you kind of have to do with a Maestro at this stage. But we're going to swip it around, and Nip are going to move through onto the attack, as FaZe are going to go for a laundry defense. And interesting that despite the fact that they did ban out the smoke, they're not going to run a thinker of their own. Again, kind of suggesting to me that they ban smoke so that they allow FaZe to play a certain way that they expect them to play.
Yeah, obviously something that we kind of see, especially when now we've got Ying in the lineup as well. You've got Jackal Smokes, you've got Zafir. They're going to go for a utility-heavy approach. And this is something where FaZe, to be fair, they're very good at handling that. And we've seen, especially even on Oregon, we've seen how they kind of handled that push just in their own special FaZe way of aggression. They meet it where they want to meet these fights. And they often completely just phase out utility before it even has a chance of the point.
Phase out.
Phase out. You know?
I see it. I see what you did there. We're going to move through now into round number 6. Could be FaZe Clan. You start through on their first defense here. Still looking pretty close, though, because I would argue that Oregon tends to be more defender-sided, even without smoke here. So you'd expect this to be slightly to the favor of the defenders.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about these kind of calibers of players, obviously, we've seen a lot of them win rounds on these, a lot of them lose rounds on these, especially on Oregon, that we've seen most games. They start to really just get a handle on how each other plays. And I think that's the beauty of Siege, is not only does it evolve in the short term, in the kind of in rounds, and everyone has their strategies, but it evolves so much on the longer terms as well, in the bigger picture. And you often talk about a map being defender-sided or attacker-sided, but you start to see teams really finding those holes and exploiting them. And I think that's one of the things that just makes Siege so exciting to watch.
You definitely do see those little holes and exploits coming through. We'll see exactly how it's utilized here by Ninja Pyjamas. Are going to go for a big tower take. Surprisingly, blue is not actually going to be reinforced here from FaZe, as WAG is going to start to do work here on the meeting hall, surprisingly.
You can see them digging in again. Nip using some of their utilities to get stuff open. Psycho's at the very top. PCD is going to go back it up. They're taking over a minute to clear out Big Tower and get control, but Astro is going to rotate back down underneath. They had the front door open. They were looking for those main door firefights, but they have started to push against Attic and against Watchtower side and Bunker side.
Yeah, well, indeed, we will see how it is going to go down. As I mentioned, when FaZe did their rush through blue, they really needed a Ying if it was going to be pre-anticipated from them. But I think this was Nip's plan along because, of course, they do have the Ying here. So going to go for that big tower take, push through blue maybe, and go for that Ying push onto blue and onto B. So we're going to open up onto Boiler Room to make sure he can do everything that he wants to do here. Guess all his control does have control of the diffuser. Julia going to rotate, does have the smokes in play, of course, and all can go through. Candles do go out onto the B site, but not that effective coming out so far. Kamikaze's going to have to try and make his way into the site. More flashbangs go down to make sure there's no ADSs, but Moringa will still have one.
Now Astro's creeping down, but Psycho shuts the creep off, dropping Astro the IQ, waiting and waiting for that push. The smokes are going down, and it's just a little bit of a spaghetti western hold there. Moringa putting some bullets into the arm of Kamikaze. That's the Ying suffering. The C4 is ready to be looped. You hear ADS being taken up as well, whether that's Candela's, not quite sure, but PZD finds Map1. Another one drops Yuna as well, as the C4 gets a bit of a return against Kamikaze, now worried about the other side. WAG finds Moringa in the meantime, and it's suddenly down to Cameraman against both angles. There go some of the Zafir charges, and there goes Zafir.
Yeah, Cameraman will be able to secure that kill into PZD, but the diffuser will go down, so we are in a post-plant situation now. Cameraman going to try and return and see if you can get 3 kills here and try and clutch it out for his team. Now, the Vector has going to be a little bit of a different recall pattern now that we've gone into the next patch, but Psycho going to take him down regardless of that.
Yeah, got the new patch, new SMG recoil for a couple of people. We'll probably see potentially the SMG 11 used a little bit more as well, but
as well as the SMG 12.
As well as the SMG 12. That's what I meant to say. It's
both of them.
Both of them. Every gun. Every single gun is better. That's what the rumors I heard. But we go into the second attack. 4-2 currently to a Nip that is looking better and better. That was a very slow and steady attack, I would say. They kind of completely took control of Tower and then just found their way to push against FaZe that seemed a little bit out there. Obviously, we saw, I think it was either 2 or 3 people were picked in the corridor.
Yeah, honestly, again, though, just a NiP that looks very, very prepared going into this match. They know how FaZe want to play this. They've played against them on Oregon so far. They've completely changed up their strategy the last time they went against them in this matchup. And they're doing so much better here. They're so much more prepared going in. And I think FaZe are going to have to try and change things up. And they will start to do so with Yuna bringing the mute this time.
So back to Laundry. We head down again. Obviously, said the mute is being bought potentially to slow them down. The Ying has been swapped out by NiP. Exchange for Twitch, I believe, this time. Potentially going to try and open up those mirrors with a little bit of range. Just cause some problems before they actually start pushing against the point as well. But it'll be interesting to see whether NiP are going to try and go for a big tower push or they're going to actually take the west and main side instead. Very nice bulletproof camera there.
Also, no Ash, right? So it's going to be much harder to take a bulletproof camera like that out. Obviously, you still have Zofia on the board here from NiP, but definitely an interesting bulletproof camera and not having to pick the Maestro to bring that in as well.
Yeah, it's just it's a nice place. It's one of those places you see and you go, I'm going to try that later in my casual games. But yeah, we start to see Yuna obviously locking off Moringa. The Jaeger is just pulling all the way back into point. Some very nice Valk cams. Astro is actually currently in big tower, not far away from Mav. They have the door open as well, so they're potentially ready, and they might run into, I think that was the PZD Zofia a bit quicker. It was the IQ than expected. Kamikaze is clearing across dorms, making sure they've got attic control and vertical as well before they go for a very nice, very quick West main clear. And if there's anything we've said about what these guys like to do on their clears, just these two teams in general, they've been normally very, very good with their clears.
They have been pretty good indeed, so we'll see how it goes through. So Pyjamas is going to be droning it all out and seeing exactly what the situation is. But we've not been seeing too much movement from NiP so far, just as, again, as you said last round, being very surgical about how they want to do this, taking control where they want to, and setting up exactly in the way that they want to go for their execute.
Yeah, and you can see Psycho's a bit concerned about this open door, because if you're an open door against FaZe, chances are they're normally not that far away. PCDs come to back them up, and you can see Astro is instantly going to rotate out of then. Realizes that there's quite a few people pushing, not worth taking the fight there, especially when you are Legion. But Jaeger is the one that's getting spotted as they've got complete control of meeting. They're starting to open those drop downs out, and they are still clearing upstairs as well. So they're pretty confident now that every single operator is down in the basement point, which is true, and it makes their job a lot easier now.
No Thatcher still coming out, though, from NiP. Is going to make their job a lot harder. Still unable to get open that laundry hatch. It's definitely going to affect them quite a lot here. Looks like they're going to have to be forced for a big tower take instead. Wag's just going to prone straight into the Legion mine. The PGD walks into another one, and another one. The Legion mine's just being dotted around onto those big tower stairs.
Now, Kamikaze is waiting for the word to start pushing some pressure on the other side. We saw it used very well towards the end. You just want to grab as much attention, try and get a frag on the other side to pull people like Moringa away from watching it so closely, give them a little bit more food for thought about those back stairs. You say when you're starting to sign up, but yeah, they have 40 seconds to start making their way and making some ground into point, and they are struggling just to find this first pick, but Julio finds it there. Moringa is taken, and the instant return there from Astro, the Legion pushing up against the drop down, and now it is starting to get a bit more intensities fragging. Astro curves round for the wide, does not get anything there. It sounds like the Jaeger caught, the ADS caught a couple of thrown in. The Hibana charge has not gone off because of the mute jammer, and a beautiful pick there from Mav against Psycho.
Absolutely beautifully played 4v3 situation, looking pretty good for FaZe so far, but Kamikaze just managed to pick Yuna. Now it's a 3v3. PCD finds a kill onto Mav. Astro with a return of a double kill! Takes down Wang and PCD, but Kamikaze with the pistol takes it down. Cameraman with the Nitro finishes things off, however, for FaZe Clan. Takes down Kamikaze. Round number 7 goes clearly into the favor of FaZe Clan.
Now I think that mute did big work there. Obviously, we saw it stop the Hibana. It forced NiP to have to try to push against FaZe, and that is exactly what FaZe want. Obviously, Astro again was kind of taking advantage of a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of stuttering when those Hibana charges did not go off, and started pushing back and getting those frags and getting aggressive, and obviously ended up with a 3K, I believe, that round. And that is the Astro that we, I think, have seen a lot of over this tournament.
A little bit of a different strategy coming out from FaZe there. Benefited them quite a lot. Taking that mute, as you said, affected quite a lot of the round.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a big play. But we go to Dorms for the first time, obviously, seeing as they won the round. Ying is currently back on the board, whether that survives the 6th pick, and Alibi is 6th picked off for Maestro. So Maestro and Mira, no Valk for the first time. Maestro is back on the Legion, going to hold it, and IQ is being swapped for Sledge.
Kind of an interesting pick coming out from Psycho there. Kind of surprised that they're not bringing the book, considering that they have to know it's going to be Kids Dom's main whole defense.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious where they're going to throw the Sledge, whether they go... Well, obviously, I said I'm curious. Obviously, they might have an idea about where they want to put him. It kind of limits you to that side-to-side control. But to be fair, when he was on Ash, Psycho was very good at that. Very good at getting the kind of flat horizontal destruction and angles, and maybe Sledge just plays a bit more into how Psycho wants and likes to push against the points. But again, there's not a huge amount of places you can really do that on Dorms.
Yeah, you can really do that indeed. We'll see how it goes as we move to round number 8, and looking pretty good for FaZe so far, who seem to be able to caught up to what Nip are doing here. Clearly, they've gone into this very prepared, and FaZe are going to have to change a few things up if they want to bring this in. But definitely looking pretty good for them, because they have definitely shown their ability to adapt so far.
Now, reinforcing that with your hands through the wall, as you're supposed to do. Moringa completely locking off Addict. And to be fair, if there's one place I thought the Sledge might have been able to do something, it was Addict. That kind of put Sledge in an even tighter position as far as I can tell. But instead, they throw it towards Big Tower, start to clear across there, maybe cause some issues on those Dorms windows. WAG instantly opening up the Showers wall to start pushing against White Stairs, give themselves some more sightlines, more control. Again, Psycho's just kind of holding upstairs with that SMG-11, waiting for, I guess, someone to peek him.
Someone to peek him indeed. We will get to see loads of drones coming out from Nip here, just trying to get a little bit of info on what is the roam game coming up from FaZe. But it's going to be Moringa who's on the roam here with some sort of ADS mashup with the 416C carbine.
It's always nice to see. Always nice to see.
You know, that way you can gun people while catching nades in midair at the same time. So,
you know,
very effective strategy coming out from Moringa.
That someone shouldn't have given Jaeger so much glue. He's breaking his guns. But we can see, obviously, it's falling into this kind of Western scenario that we mentioned before, where they love to set up and get ready for that execute. They normally run a fair bit of utility on their execute as well. Nip, they're just kind of waiting and weighing and seeing if they can lock it off. Cameraman still has control of armories, so they've still got a fair bit of give on either side of the point. They're setting up around that main Dorms window as well. Astro, a little bit panicked about the hallway window, but Mav kind of opening those vertical holes pretty late on.
Yeah, kind of opening up the verticals indeed. The rotates are going to come through from WAG to try and find a bit of a new entrance here, but Nip have slowed down quite a lot to what we have seen from them in the past. They are a little bit maybe kind of out here trying to find some pick or something like that to try and push them onto White Stairs and try and get quickly into the site, but not looking too good for them so far.
Well, there goes one of the mirror windows again. This is what we said about Psycho. Where is this hammer going to be used, potentially, obviously, to clear that barbed wire on White Stairs? Get yourself a little bit more pace. Cameraman has rotated down out of armory and headed underneath Moringa, as well as playing in stage, waiting for any potential push. You can see Kamikaze's holding the long angle, but they've only got about 30 seconds left. PZD finds the opening frag. That is Cameraman taken off the board, and that is the castle dropped from underneath. But again, we saw Cameraman pushing back. Here comes the utility heavy push. Beautiful C4 that unfortunately catches nobody.
The rotates are going to come through from Moringa, and yes, you are right. The C4 won't find anyone, but Mav will, and so will Julio. PZD finds yet another one from below, but Yuno with a double kill. Julio and White go down. Astro takes down Psycho, now it's all done to PZD. Just quickly rotates up onto White. 10 seconds to go. He knows exactly where they are, but he can't find the frag. Astro's right there, but he will take him down. Beautiful kill from Astro. FaZe Clan take round number 8, and even score without 4 apiece.
4-4. Now it seems what FaZe is starting to do a little bit better is, well, how active it is on them and how kind of skittish Nip are seeming to set up on their attacks. They're just being a little bit too slow and a little bit worried when they start to get aggressive on the point. Obviously, their first push against Laundry from their first round, they got control. They took about a minute to kind of get control. They took about another 30 seconds to start getting pressure on the point, and then from then on, it started getting picks. Now, FaZe have started to play away from that. They're kind of holding on to those operators for that extra 30 seconds, and in the translation of that, it just seems like Nip are struggling. They're struggling with that added pressure of, we haven't got these picks by this point.
Yeah, I would say that they have, and again, it's kind of going to that point. I was kind of surprised they didn't bring a book for that point, considering that they were relying quite heavily on that vertical play coming out, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see this Ash ban. I know that you said Psycho. He plays quite a lot of Ash. He's done quite well on Ash previously. I'm kind of surprised he isn't playing the glass here, because we've also seen him play very good on glass, and we haven't really seen that from either team.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where they kind of... It's an operator. We've seen it run a couple times through this game, at least. We've seen Glaz utilized a fair bit, and obviously the balance of Overwatch Glaz versus push Glaz either kind of plays well into these guys, but the amount of... Well, I say the amount. When they use push Glaz, it is exceptionally effective, because they also love to do these big smoke pushes and these big utility pushes, and you do kind of think, well, maybe this is one that can be brought into their lineups and can be kind of brought across the board. But instead, obviously, they've swapped back Julio on the Twitch again. Again, one of the things of one of the operators you often cite as being an exceptional one is Blitz, and yet we haven't really seen any Blitz at all.
No, we haven't seen any. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen any shield operator play coming out here from Dip just yet, especially the fact that it is going to be a big tower take, and they know it's going to be a big tower take, and I think that the shield works quite well for that. Yeah,
obviously the roam clear, because we've seen the Blitz roam clear on this map, and we've seen Julio play that very well themselves. Obviously, that was the one time we said Julio was a great shield player and then got instantly whiffed by problems in the game. But apart from that, Julio's generally been very, very solid on it. So, but PZD, however, opens up the frag, takes care of the top tower ACOG wielder Astro. Julio finds another one, and then PZD gets another unit climbing the ladder.
Climbing the ladder, but ineffectively just gets domed as he moves all the way up. That's going to leave FaZe Clan in a 5v2 situation. Not looking too good for them so far. Moringa and Cameraman is all down to them to try and bring it in, but they've just given up control of the site completely. Not looking too good for them at all. Kamikaze is just going to gun down Cameraman. That's all down to Moringa now. Going to rotate up onto the tower stairs to try and see if we can do something here. But he will get drawn out by Wag. They'll give up the information. They'll know exactly where he is. Psycho does get gunned. Sorry, no, Kamikaze does get destroyed. It's going to be all down to Moringa still. We've got to find 4 more, but no, Psycho from below will shut him down. Nip take round number 9 and themselves on match point.
Match point 5-4. And again, that was a very, very nice push from Nip. And we said when they find confidence is when they get those early takes, or those takes in their kind of their time frame of how comfortable they feel. And they were handed at least the frag there that we saw. Obviously, you got the top tower take against the ACOG. You generally assume someone is going to be up there with an ACOG with these guys. But then getting the mirror, climbing the ladder, that was kind of handed to them.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate timing for Unit there, I think, because as soon as that top tower goes down, you need someone back up there as quickly as possible. So Unit did the right thing, but just at the wrong time.
Well, can they bring it back? Here is Psycho on the glass.
Thank God.
Oh, no. It's Thatcher now. They're just a mess with you.
Although, to be fair, if they bring the Thatcher here, I wouldn't be too mad about it, because last time they attacked Laundry, the fact that they didn't have a Thatcher really screwed them over.
Yep, so 6th pick. Valkyrie to Maestro as well, locking off downstairs. Unit is bringing that dog again that we've seen used fairly well on point over stimming, getting those frags that is so potent in LATAM as well. But as I said, Thatcher was a big hole in this. As soon as they hit that mirror window that was muted, they couldn't do anything. But Mute isn't on the table this time. They decided not to bring Mute.
No, Mute isn't on the table at all. That may have been a little bit of a fake out by FaZe so that they could try and bait that 6th pick into a glass, because I think last time Unit did 6th pick from a dock onto a Mute. So interesting move from FaZe, but also they did 6th pick themselves onto a Maestro, expecting the glass. So maybe it goes a bit back and forth there.
The joy of psychological warfare.
6th pick FaZe definitely showing its tactics there. We'll see how it goes through as we move now into round number 10. One round away from FaZe bringing this back into overtime to try and push it into their favor, but Nib looking much, much better on these attacks recently.
Yeah, they've definitely seemed... this previous one, they definitely seemed more kind of cohesive as Unit. As I said, I think a lot of that plays into when they get their first frag and when they start actually finding bodies. 'Cause if they don't until that final minute, 40 seconds, they really seem to be struggling. And that kind of just feeds them into FaZe picking them off. Kamikaze going to lock down the same way we saw Twitch lock that down before. They're clearing across. You can see Capitao and Julio is there to back it up as well. Obviously, Julio has been a very good Capitao player too. They have the Habana with the diffuser. It looks like they're going to try and break West Main. They do have someone clearing Big Tower, but it seems like most of them are generally stacked. Well, they're going to go for meeting as well. Obviously, they did get pretty good drop-down control. Psycho going for Big Tower, and as we said, they like to be slow and steady. A little bit of an unfortunate throw there as it rubber bands, boomerang straight back to the hand of Thatcher, but at the same time, it's this game, it's this waiting that FaZe have to do, and they have to kind of be sure of themselves at this point.
That is definitely very unlucky indeed. We'll see how it goes through as Nip take control of the meeting hole and just try and push down through the hatches. See what's going on just instead. But just about halfway into the round now, and I'm looking at the utility deployment from Nip, and we haven't seen a huge amount of it just yet. But Psycho, he's going to throw out some EMPs, maybe trying to catch some ADSs off here as well. As Kamikaze's drone will try and get through, but nope, can't find the rotate, and it will get shut down.
That's why you don't open the holes all the way to the floors, kid. But we can see the drop downs are all open. That is all X-Kairos off the board now. Capitao is rotating around to bunker. They're setting up the claymores on the top of those laundry stairs as well. And they're just trying to look for that pick. And again, this next 20 seconds is a very important time for Nip because they have generally struggled if they haven't at least found an opening frag at this point. You hear Maestro go off a little bit as well. Everyone again stacked up waiting. Moringa has the soft wall. The Zofia charges are going straight into the laundry closet there. Again, Astro is pushing aggressively with Moringa.
Yeah, Psycho is going to be holding down the rotate and just takes the head clean off of Astro. Doesn't expect someone to be there to try and refrag. I think Kamikaze just trying to do some running on the spot there, unfortunately, as we have 30 seconds left to go on the clock. And they're going to try and begin their execute without Kamikaze.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate indeed because they were starting to get control. PZD finds Yuna. Psycho again drops Moringa. Capitao bolts go off it as Zofia down can get themselves back up. They only have 20 seconds, but they won't have time. Cameraman pushes, finds Psycho. Julio gets Mav. Zofia is back up, but not anymore. Cameraman finds another one, and it is suddenly down to this mirror to clutch out. The diffuser goes down, and they are both out of there, and this is a very hard situation now to pull back.
Cameraman doesn't have any utility left remaining, but there's plenty of utility left for Nip here. As they do put their drones into position to try and see if Cameraman is going to be able to try and clutch this out. Just try and push through onto the laundry room, but does manage to get in there. Sees the drone, takes it down, and moves onto the laundry stairs. Just goes to the pre-fire, sees the Claymore, of course, takes it out, and takes down the drone as well. Cameraman looking pretty good to actually try and clutch this right now, but doesn't have a nitro cell left remaining, of course. Goes for those pre-fires, definitely trying to find the kill, but really has to try and rotate down and try and find the bait of the defuse, but oh, almost does find the kill, but no, he does find the kill into Wang, but Julio is there to trade him out. Very nice from Nip, as they will take map number 1 of Oregon 6-4.
Well, we said whether they get that initial kind of frag, and that will balance how they go for the push. They did get it, but then as they were pushing, lost someone. It did not affect Nip. As you said, 6-4. Good, strong opening for them. As we looked at the original vote, as you said at the beginning, the stray vote, a lot of people thought FaZe were going to kind of clean house this, and it's good that Nip have kind of said, no, we're taking the first map. We are locking this off. This was our pick. We wanted to come back here after you beat us, and this is why.
87% into FaZe's favor there, but Nip very, very prepared for Oregon. Of course, that was their map pick, however. We're going to take a little bit of a break here before we move into map number 2 of Coastline. Give us a few minutes, and we'll be right back.